Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I've got questions for you. I watched Love and Hip Hop Miami last night, and I'm kind of on the fence about whether I'm gonna review it. So it's gonna be. I didn't take notes, and it's gonna be a I'm just gonna share with you some of my thoughts and yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so let me this is Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. So, Love and Hip Hop as a franchise, at some point I used to watch it, and then I started, first of all, the first thing that happened is I started getting confused because I couldn't tell the different characters apart. And I don't know if it was because there were so many people, because at some point I realized, oh, like at the reunion, they got 80 people on stage and then 100 other people in the audience. They're all part of the show. No wonder I couldn't keep track. And then also a lot of the women in particular kind of looked alike to me. And then, they switching wigs and switching makeup, and I couldn't really, I was confused. So I couldn't really follow the stories or be invested enough in the stories. I didn't really know enough about what was going on to really follow that franchise at some point, and then the people that I did know who they were, the stuff just seemed so stupid to me. And I mean, reality TV is already stupid. I mean, I'm not going to reality TV for any intellectual discourse or any edification or, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's almost like mindless entertainment anyway. Although I do like to watch people and have theories about people and all of that. But, it just was so, the stuff just seemed, I'm like, it seemed so incredible and so fake and phony. And I mean, reality TV is scripted and, or whatever, I'm not expecting that, oh, they just turn the cameras on the people and this is like what's really, really going on. I mean, I know that a lot of stuff on reality TV is not candid, it's planned, it's orchestrated, it's some bull. I understand that. But it was like with the Love and Hip Hop franchise, I just started feeling like it was just, I couldn't even participate in the, on a lot of these shows, you just suspend, like, even though I know this is going on, hold on a second, stuff is going on the show, and stuff is going on in the real world, and you don't know that there's stuff going on in the real world and stuff going on the TV, and sometimes those two worlds don't intersect, and sometimes you don't know of the stuff that's supposedly going on the real world, how much of it is real, how much of it's staged for a TV show. It's hard to know what's going on with these people's lives in real life, what's really, really going on. But some of the stuff, it just seemed like, just beyond, I couldn't buy into, even suspending my belief of the outside world and just focusing on the show. Some of the storylines and stuff, the people just seemed so, like, I don't know if stupid, incredible. It was just like, it's not credible. Like, I just don't believe that anyone would behave in this way in real life. Or, I don't know. And if they do, then I don't want to watch them. On all of the reality shows, there's some version of that. But for the payoff, but there's a payoff you get when you watch them. There's something you get, some satisfaction, some, something that you get, something that I get out of watching them. But with Love and Hip Hop, it was like the payoff stopped being, worth it for the annoyance of watching the show. So I don't watch any of those shows anymore. So I was excited to see that when I saw the previews for Miami, I was excited because they had the Afro-Latina woman, Amara La Negra. And so I was excited to see that they were going to be actively and, on the surface exploring this whole topic, not only of colorism and colorism within the, I just felt like it was an interesting intersection there of color. She's Latina, but she's Black. She identifies as Black and Latina. And then dealing with colorism, I just thought that would be an interesting piece. And then when I started watching some of the previews on YouTube, I was it seemed like on a lot of the franchises or a lot of the reality shows, it seems like people spend a lot of time trying to convince you how rich and how wealthy they are But, some of the stuff seems like fake. Like, they're living in these big houses, and then you see in the real world how they were renting, and they get, whatever. It just, this, what they trying to present to you and make you believe doesn't really fit what's really going on. And when I watched the preview for Miami, it seemed like it was a little more like, less focused on trying to make us believe that they were living this big glamorous life, and like more focused on, like, you think that South Beach or West Beach or whatever the rich part of Miami is what Miami is about. But we about to go to where the people are, where they play dominoes and they eat this. And, it seemed kind of like, ooh, like when you go on when I go on vacation, I don't like to just stop at the tourist spots. I like to go to where the real people live and see what's really going on. So then I started thinking, ooh, it seems like they're going to give us a more down-to-earth version of, this community. And that seemed kind of interesting to me, and it seemed kind of different from what the franchise had done, in my sense of what the franchise had done before. So I was excited about that. And then I was also excited about even like a character like the guy Gunplay, who I'm not familiar with his music or his career at all, but I liked that he had locks. And then when I was watching yesterday, so those were some of the things. It was kind of like, well, maybe I will be able to keep track of the people on this show, and maybe they won't have 80 characters. Maybe it'll just be 8 or 10, and I can keep track of them. Or if they have a lot of characters, maybe they'll look distinctive enough for me, and their storylines and what they're dealing with will be distinct enough for me to like keep track of, what's going on. So I watched. So Amara La Negra, she has some funny expressions. She'd be like, she makes funny expressions. I'm here for her. At this point, I'm like a fan of hers. I know some people are like, well, you can't bring your mother on a business meeting, but it seems like a lot of these business meetings, particularly on these love and hip hop shows, seem like they're like booty call meetings. So I feel like it's good to bring your mother. I can understand why she would bring her mother, why she might have gotten in the habit of bringing her mother into certain situations to sort of diffuse and disabuse anybody of the notion that she gonna sleep her way to the top. So, I kind of like, that she brought her mother along, and, that her mother had her little sassy attitude, and, they both seemed confident, and, I thought that was really cute. She looks like, the way that she looks is like unreal. Like, I heard that people were asking, like, is she black or not? And I don't know, it's like something about the way that she looks, like her color, or like it's something that seems like she seems like a baby doll, or she seems like a painting, or it's something about her that doesn't seem real. So I'm like, is she? I saw some video where she was like licking her skin and rubbing it, like, I'm black, it didn't rub off, but that child just looks like, she is gorgeous. She's just, she looks unrealistically, gorgeous. So I enjoyed her story. I don't think there was like much to the arc, except that we see from previews or whatever that the guy, New Hollywood, the producer that she's trying to get with, is well established in the world of, or not well established, but she has gotten a foothold in the world of Latino music, and she's trying to cross over and get a foothold. And she thinks that New Hollywood, the producer, might be able to help her. Hollywood, the producer, we know, he's going to want her to change and be, more cookie cutter. And she and I can understand, in a lot of these things, there are trends, like in movies, like if this movie hits, then everybody else is trying to make a movie like that. If the black TV shows are in vogue now, so everybody's trying to make a black TV show and have a black TV show on their network. If whatever is in style, everybody want to jump on the bandwagon, but someone has to innovate. So maybe this child can be the innovator. She don't want to be a cookie cutter. She not cut out for that. So, she can innovate, and she might, like, I think I liked when she left, she said, she was leaving, because it's kind of like, if you don't have a chemistry with your producer, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation, but it seems like it would be good to have chemistry with your team and the people who are working with you, who are trying to support you in what you're doing. Like, we all need to buy into the same vision. So if they're not all buying into the same vision, I think it was good for her to walk away. So I like that. And Gunplay, He seemed kind of like, we can't tell the way it's played. He was living in Atlanta and he's moving back to Miami. When he was in Miami, he had some issues with drugs or the people he was hanging out with or something. I can't remember. But the theory is that, Atlanta was a better place for him because he wouldn't be in his same old habits. And has a girlfriend in Miami, and now he's moved back. I mean, he has a girlfriend in Atlanta, and now he and she have moved back to Miami. She's not from Miami. She is concerned that he's going to get into his same old habits. You see the same people, places, and things, and you start doing the same old things you've been doing. So she like, this is not a good look. I'm not here for it. And he's like, I'm a whole different person. And then I think from some of the previews, he's like, you don't really know me well enough to say that I'm doing the same thing that I've done before. So I'm here for the story, with him. Trina is like some rapper. I don't think I'm familiar with any of her music. Am I? There was some stuff that played last night. But anyway, Trina and TNT, Trick Daddy, they're like the OGs, the well-established. Some of these people, I guess a lot of these people are well-established, but they seem like older and more established than some of the other people on the show. They've been in the game longer. And they're working together. Trina has a cousin who's a young wannabe rapper. I don't want to say he want to be a rapper, but he's a rapper. He wants to be more prominent in the industry. And he seems to be very dramatic and very kind of cuckoo crazy. He want to come in her space and dominate, and he's had physical altercations with her assistant, and she don't want him in the space, and he rushes way into the space, I guess, for the TV show, for drama. And he's gay, so that's, I guess this is part of the formula. Now we have, the gay person. I don't know if there's going to be an older woman, but usually it seems like they have an older woman on the show. So that's Trina and the young, I don't remember his name, cousin. That's her first cousin. He her blood relative. And he's quick to let you know. And then Trick Daddy, he says that he has to get his life in order. He looked like he pregnant, so he got to either had a baby or do something else. So I'm not familiar with his, his work. But, I like that he knew he knew it was time for him to be doing something different with his life. So we support that and we encourage that. What other characters were there? Oh, there's a woman from Scrappy. She was dealing with Scrappy on maybe a Love and Hip Hop, but Bambi was also the guy that Bambi dealt with. So Scrappy, I think his mother is the one who's like, in that order. So whatever franchise they're from, she was on that franchise, and now this woman is on this franchise. Dang, I thought I knew her name, but now I done forgot her name. But she had dealt with this Scrappy guy, and she thought that he played it off like he thought they were friends. It was sort of like she thought they were more than friends. And so when she presents on this show, she says she's happy to be in a relationship with a guy who claims her, who loves her. She's coming to move to be with him. He's part of a group called Pretty Ricky, who I hadn't heard of. She says that he's the star of the group. When they did perform, the song they performed, I can't remember what it was, sounded familiar to me. But he's getting back with his group, and she's hostile to the group because of what he's told her about them. She feels that she's mad at them, and, so she kind of talked to them any old kind of way. She show up at a performance, and he wasn't expecting her. After they perform, she come, and she kind of being rude or disrespectful to his colleagues, his co-performers. There's some tension with him and one of his co-performers who is like, basically one of his co-performers feels like he put more into the group Pretty Ricky than everybody else because he would produce, he would do this, he would do that. And so I'm like, does he have a career as a producer? Because it would be good if you would learn those skills and then you could translate them, but I don't really know. But they're trying to get together and have a comeback tour album situation thing going. So she created Shay. So Shay is the woman who was on with Scrappy on the other TV show, she's with the guy from Pretty Ricky now. But his name, what's his name? So I'll probably be able to keep them track. If I had my notes, I had their names written down. So that was the drama with them. Was there anybody else? That's all I remember, and I'm 15 minutes in, so that's plenty. I'm not promising that I'm going to review this show. I'm going to take it moment by moment. I don't know if the show start next week and I feel like taking notes, I'll take notes, but because I kind of feel like if they stop with the characters they have, I can make the connection. And then also I found out the Trick Daddy is married to Trina, another one of Trina's cousins. So I can keep track of that. It's like a family connection, but they ain't been together. And she feel like he didn't treat her good, and he feel like he gave her everything, and they not divorced, and Trina feel like they should go on and be divorced or something. So, and then the way I kind of know about Trina is because I've been hearing all this brouhaha about the Queen's Court and have watched a couple of episodes of the Queen's Court, and Kaya has dogged out Trina. Is that sourpuss? So that's all I know. That's all I got. Are you watching Love and Hip Hop Miami? What did you think? Who are you rooting for? Are you be confused by Love and Hip Hop? Can you keep track of all of them people usually on the show? That's what I got again. Thanks so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I'm Angela again. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Like, comment, subscribe, share. We're working on 200 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. What does Properly Bonafide say? You come over to my channel, you listen, you get something. Go on and hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing. Go on and subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. That's what I got. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Today is the best day ever.